Marvel fans, over the weekend, Kevin Feige was down in Brazil showing fans a ton of cool stuff about upcoming Marvel projects. And I want to break down every goddamn thing he said and teased in this video. It's a lot. Grab a snack. Here we go. This whole thing ended with two crazy trailers, one for the Thunderbolts movie and one for Captain America Brave New World. And I am dying to talk about those trailers because I thought they were both pretty cool. First, we got to talk about questions that Kevin Feige fielded just out there in the wild with fans and different reporters, and then we'll get into the trailer. So first up, let's talk about some stuff that Kevin Feige talked about. First thing I wanted to bring up was this comment here. Kevin Feige says Marvel Studios will go down to 2 films, 3 series after 2025's massive slate. And the quote he said was, "It turns out we've been working on these titles for a long time and they just happen to be ready to launch now. We're very excited." And frankly, this is good to hear. Just the other week when they dropped that trailer and have like a bajillion freaking projects, a lot of them coming out in 2025, I and many other fans were confused. And we were confused because they were basically saying for the last couple of years they were going to slow all of this stuff down. And there's just like all kinds of reasons for this. I mean, you're going to fatigue the audience. You're probably making too many projects that aren't strong enough to carry like a full crazy 4-quadrant viewership. I would rather have quality over quantity. That has been a huge complaint from fans over the past couple of years when it comes to Marvel. I mean, if you've ever seen the amount of content that was made in Phase 4 compared to the content that was made in all 3 of the original phases of the Infinity Saga, it is staggering. So Kevin coming out and saying that they are going to go to 2 movies and 3 shows a year is really cool. Now, he is saying that they've been working on a lot of these projects for a long time and they all just happen to be ready now. And I think that is true, but I also think Feige is just trying to get all of those projects sort of out there so that then they can focus on the actual quality over quantity. Marvel has been doing this thing where they're taking a lot of projects that were made during Phase 4 and they're trying to update them to now where they think the audience is at, and they're trying to improve them over time because a lot of these were just bad projects. Like, frankly, these should not have been greenlit. But because they're unwilling to cancel them, they've been caught in this crazy cycle of trying to fix everything instead of just focusing on making much better stuff from here. And so to me, this is as close as you will get as an admission that that is what they are doing. They have been working on these things for a long time. That's true. We know that. These things all happen to be ready now. That's true. We can see that. So they're dropping all this stuff in 2025. It's going to be bananas, but it should get back to normal after that. Okay, next up, let's talk about the Scarlet Witch. Feige was asked about the future of the Scarlet Witch, and he said, "I can only say that we are excited to find out when and how the Scarlet Witch can come back." And holy, that is pretty wild. That's the first time he's ever publicly acknowledged that she is indeed coming back. Now, he has teased in the past that he didn't think she was dead, but he was sort of cheeky about it. This is different. This is him basically saying, we're about to find out when and how she will be coming back. And honestly, this just lines up with all the rumors and reports we've been talking about for the past couple of weeks. Marvel has big plans for Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch. These include a sizable role in the next 2 Avengers movies, possibly as the lover of Doctor Doom. Recently did a video about that. And she is supposed to continue to have a big role in the overall MCU once we get past Secret Wars and into what is described as the Mutant Saga. And that kind of nicely takes us into comments that Feige made about the X-Men. Check out this quote here where he says, "When we were preparing for Avengers Endgame years ago, it was a matter of getting the grand finale of our narrative. And then we had to start all over again after that. This time on the road to Secret Wars, we already know very well what's going to happen, be the story until then and beyond. The X-Men are an important part of that future." And that is also pretty crazy. We've been talking about rumors that the next saga is going to be mutant focused for a long time. This is maybe the first time that Kevin Feige himself is kind of soft confirming that. Now, I still think the mutants are going to play a big role in Secret Wars. I think this is sort of the last chance to get some of the actors that played the old X-Men characters to be in a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, like your Patrick Stewarts, your Ian McKellens, you know, those kind of actors. And I think you're going to get more of Deadpool and Wolverine and maybe Gambit and Daphne Keene and all those people from Deadpool and Wolverine. So I think you're still going to get a lot of that in the Secret Wars thing, but Secret Wars is literally an Avengers film. It is going to be about assembling a group of Avengers. And so Kevin is basically saying, we know what the plan is for the next couple of years. We know what the plan is after Secret Wars, and the mutants are a really important part of all of that, which is super cool. The mutants are awesome, man. I think a lot of fans are almost looking past Secret Wars in some ways, just getting excited about what a mutant saga could actually look like. Probably a lot because of X-Men 97 and Deadpool and Wolverine. The mutants, they're freaking awesome, dude, and they've been telling some great stories with them already. Next up, let's talk about Miles Morales. Kevin Feige was asked about the plans for live-action Miles, and he said Miles will appear in the third Spider-Verse movie, which is in production. I hope that, shortly after that, he can enter the MCU in live action. And that also is crazy. Like, that might not seem like much, but Kevin does not usually give this much of his hand out there for us to see. He's kind of saying that they're saving Miles until after the next Spider-Verse movie, which is likely due to his whole plan and collaboration with Sony. And he's saying that he's hoping after that Miles can make his live-action debut in the MCU, which would mean that he's going to bat and trying to make sure that Miles will be in the MCU and not over in the Sony verse with Noel and the Sinister Six and all that crazy shit. And that's pretty cool because, look, we have heard for a long time that this is important to Tom Holland. He wants Miles Morales to be in the MCU. He wants to pass the baton to Miles Morales. He has even said recently that he wants to do for a young actor what Robert Downey Jr. did for him when Tom Holland was becoming Spider-Man. And remember, too, that in the actual Marvel Cinematic Universe, we have Prowler played by Donald Glover, and he also talks about his nephew in an actual Spider-Man film. And that same Donald Glover Prowler was actually seen in the Spider-Verse movie. So there's something crazy there. Something is being cooked. I'm not sure what it is, but I know this has a lot of fans hype, man. Miles Morales is a super cool character. I'm hoping he gets in the MCU as well, and I'm also super excited to see the last chapter of the Spider-Verse films. Kevin Feige also spoke on Blade. He said, we're committed to Blade. We love the character. We love Mahershala's version of him. I can say that the character will make it to the MCU. Not a ton to what Kevin said there, but it's important that he clarified Mahershala's version of Blade. There's been a lot of rumors that maybe they were going to go to Wesley Snipes. Maybe Mahershala was walking away from the character. I think just a few weeks ago, there were reports that Blade was delayed indefinitely, but that isn't even really true. That's a report that's over a year old from when Marvel internally took Blade off of its release calendar. I know there's a lot of confusion about Blade, but Blade is absolutely happening, and Kevin Feige reasserted his commitment to the Blade movie in Brazil over the weekend. Now, the last thing that Feige said on the floor, this was not like in a presentation, but it's really interesting, is he talked about the Avengers movies and Spider-Man 4 as a Battleworld film. He said, when you set out to make two Avengers films, they are colossal, gigantic, and consume you completely. But we have already announced a Spider-Man film that will be released between Doomsday and Secret Wars. This was in response to other movies possibly coming out in the next couple of years. And I think this is really just a sign that they are not doing many Battleworld movies. It really does seem like the only movie that's going to happen in between those two big Avengers films will be Spider-Man 4. There's still an outside chance that maybe they would get Doctor Strange 3 off the ground, or they get Blade into production and it's ready to go technically either in the Battleworld universe or maybe after it. But this is confirmation that Spider-Man comes out between those two movies, and it's kind of a soft confirmation that they're not really focusing on any other stuff while tackling these massive freaking films. Okay, but now let's talk about the actual presentation, like what was actually shown. Well, you got some teases for some of the smaller things, like What If Season 3, which apparently is supposed to have a trailer dropping today on Monday, so maybe we're reacting to that on the live stream as you are watching this video right now. And there's some cool stuff in there. There's like a version of Agatha that's in all white. There's Storm holding Mjolnir. So What If Season 3 looks pretty cool. Apparently it's going to be the last season of What If. We also got a shot of Magneto with a beard for Season 2 of X-Men 97. Not really much to say about that except that Magneto looks good. with a beard, without a beard. Magneto always looks good. Fans were shown trailers for Daredevil Born Again and the Fantastic Four. Now, when it comes to Daredevil, the footage is the exact same that they've been rolling out at a lot of different conventions and yet not releasing publicly for some reason. But when it comes to the Fantastic Four, this was actual different footage. I'm going to show you one image. I'm going to chance it. This is a look at Sue Storm from the actual Fantastic Four movie. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because the footage that was shown at San Diego Comic-Con, which again was never publicly released, but a lot of us saw it because we can find that kind of stuff on the internet. You will notice that she looks different. And My Time to Shine Hello actually clarified that the footage that was shown at San Diego Comic-Con was not from principal photography. It's not from the actual shooting of the Fantastic Four movie. That was something they shot specifically for San Diego Comic-Con. So the new footage, which is only out there in leaks, is more representative of the actual look for Sue Storm and Reed Richards in the actual Fantastic Four movie. But then the presentation came to an end with two really cool trailers. First, we had an almost 4-minute long trailer for the Thunderbolts movie, and my God, it was an incredible trailer. My hype for this movie just keeps going up, up, and up. This was so freaking cool. The trailer's oozing with style. It's got incredible music choices. It's really funny, utilizing the strength of the actors and the characters in it. Bucky Barnes plays this like mentor, Terminator, super badass version of the Winter Soldier. It's awesome. The action looks incredible. Bob the Sentry is so unassuming. And the wildest part about this whole thing with the Thunderbolts movie is that we have not seen a single frame of him freaking out, becoming the Sentry or the Void. Like, all of us know that he obviously is the Sentry, but we haven't seen it. They're teasing the actual look of the Sentry. I thought at the very least we'd see like some yellow energy or some flames in this trailer, but no. And it's crazy because I'm still so excited for the movie. Like, it looks like a super fun time. The action looks incredible. It just looks fun. And on top of that, you're going to have the Sentry, and that's going to be really freaking cool. And then we got a trailer for Captain America Brave New World. Now, look, this was legitimately the best trailer released for Captain America Brave New World so far. And I want to give them a lot of credit for showing some of the incredible action that's going to be in this movie, like when Sam comes down at supersonic speed and then the sonic boom happens after a little while. That was super cool. Him hitting missiles with the shield and then with his wings, which are of course also vibranium. That was sick. At the end of the trailer, when he faces off against the Hulk and literally tears a flaming car in half with his vibranium wings, that was freaking awesome. And I also think that the Red Hulk himself looks really cool. Like, the model for Harrison Ford as the Red Hulk is actually pretty legit. The thing that's kind of weird is that despite all the improvements and despite Captain America Brave New World putting out its best trailer, some really cool posters, and a lot of fun action, I find myself more interested and personally gravitating towards Thunderbolts more. I don't know if it's maybe just my fatigue of political discourse and political allegory in the movies. I don't know if it's the fact that we've heard a lot of rumors that the Brave New World movie is testing poorly, and we've heard literally the exact opposite for the Thunderbolts. I don't know if I'm just more in the mood to have a fun romp with a bunch of crazy super soldiers than to watch a serious political thing with Sam Wilson as Captain America. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think this is a problem for Marvel. I guess the question is, like, will fans be able to just enjoy that fun action, not think too hard about what's going on in the movie, what possible allegories are being made? Will Marvel be able to strip out some of the more divisive things from the movie without leaving it just feeling completely flat? I guess we're going to find out, but I also think that the Thunderbolts looking very, very good does technically help Brave New World, because maybe we'd be more apt to check it out and even give that movie a pass, knowing that there are some really fun things coming on the horizon. When it comes to Thunderbolts, if this movie is half as good as I think it is going to be, you need to get a lot of the creative people that are involved in it on other Marvel projects. This is something that we saw a lot more in Marvel's past. You would have different writers or directors or even actors come into the MCU, and if they killed it and the fans really liked what they were doing, they would get more gigs. Marvel's in desperate need of growing up a new crop of really good Marvel content creators that love the brand, that understand it, and are also really talented. And it really does seem like we have a clear winner in the Thunderbolts and possibly a whole new crop of talent that's going to give us even more good stuff in the years to come. So there you go. There's your breakdown of everything that Marvel revealed at D23 over the weekend. Let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section below. We're going to be talking about it on the live stream today as well, so come on by for that. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.